So this is part 2 of our Jayco Silverline tour, and this is going to cover off our upgrades and add-ons. Upgrades where we've improved already present systems or gadgets in the Caravan, and we'll explain why we've done that and roughly sort of costs as we can. And then our add-ons are definitely the things that we've chosen to add to the Caravan that we really needed. Now it may not be the same for you if you're just a weekender, summer holiday traveller in your RV, caravan, motorhome. Some of these things are going to maybe be irrelevant, but if you didn't know, Kevin and I have sold up, have no jobs, and we're currently full-time living in our Silverline, so definitely a few creature comforts that we needed, and also just making life easier, full stop, when you're living the way that we are, and we're loving it. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then please do so, and go back and watch some of our earlier episodes to fill you in on our journey so far and to get to know us. We'd really appreciate that. And any comments along the way, we'd greatly appreciate them. And the other thing, of course, do ring the notification bell, and if you enjoyed the content of this video, give us a like, thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. So there we have it. Part 3 is going to be our must-haves and some of the things we bought that were just a waste of money. So maybe that can help you save some money too, not buy things that later on you discover were a waste of time. But that's all in the learning, right? And that's exactly what this journey is, a huge learning curve, and we're loving it. So thanks again guys for joining us. We really enjoy having you on board, and let's roll the tape. Right, so this would be our most expensive upgrade, add-on, and must-have. Yep. Fits all, ticks all the boxes.
For our circumstances anyway.
Yes, for us.
Needs these,
no right and wrong here.
Yep.
It may not be something that you decide to invest in. You may not have the wherewithal financially to do it. But for us, we'll just explain what Kevin's done here briefly, and at some other point he will more than likely do a video on how he actually fully connected all of this. But what did this Caravan come with?
It came with a single 100 amp hour AGM battery.
And how many panels were on the roof?
Originally only one.
Okay.
So we added another 2 panels.
Yep. So how many watts do we have up there?
So we've got 450 watts of solar up on the roof.
Yep.
And what we have here is 2 200 amp hour batteries, lithiums. So we have a total of 400 amp hours of lithium battery. Because the J-Hub J35 doesn't have the charging grunt that is required to charge these batteries in a reasonable amount of time, what we've done is installed a new solar controller charger. This particular one is a Victron Energy, and then done an upgrade in terms of the wiring. We've added a shunt for us to be able to monitor each battery and the current we're drawing. We have a kill switch, a fuse, a circuit breaker down there, to the inverter. We've got an upgraded BM Pro, which is part of the J-Hub brand, a BM Pro battery charger which is designed specifically for lithium. It outputs 25 amps of charging power versus only 15 on the J-Hub.
So what does that mean to us who don't understand this sort of language? Faster charging? Is that what it's about?
Yep. Quicker charge up. Lithium batteries love to take on a big charge. They don't necessarily like a little trickle charge. They can take as much as you can throw at them.
Now they're much bigger. Just noting the batteries are much bigger than the AGM.
Yes, but they weigh a fraction. These are 21 kilos each. And the AGM we took out of there, it took both of us to carry it out.
And you've just built a frame around it to support it.
Yep, to keep it in position, so it's got an aluminium frame to lock it in position.
You've also put pretty thick cabling. Is there a reason for that, Kevin?
Yes, well, it helps with the efficiency of the charging and also the circuit. When it comes to cabling, bigger is better. You get a better transfer of current. And everything that we've done here is one size up. So the cables we've used all one size up, including these ones to the inverter. The inverter control switch is actually mounted over here in the kitchen.
hang on, so this is our inverter. Now we've only gone for a 2000 watt. Some people would say you should go to a 3000 watt. Basically it's about how many appliances you have running at one time and whether 2000 watts would be the capacity that would cover it. And so far for us we've found that's fine. If you want to run more, then you'd have to put a bigger inverter in, but we'll just show you. Kevin has installed the switching system.
Yeah, and just to add to that, because we don't have a air conditioner unit on this Caravan, we wouldn't be able to justify more than 2000 watts because we simply don't need it.
True. Alright, so where have you popped the switch? So again, this is one of those things, do we put it down the side of the bed where we've already done some installments?
So that's the inverter switch there, so it's now powered on. And for example, this morning the camp power went down and we just simply plugged the coffee maker into the inverter power supply and we had coffee.
Excellent. Now one other thing too that maybe we should mention just briefly, when Kevin came to do this install and we had a look at the size and movement space here, we do have a Truma gas heater installed, but it was not configured like that, was it?
No, the discharge or the outlet pipe on the Truma basically ran from there across here. Now, cutting the corner. Now I know from a air movement efficiency point of view that's probably the ideal thing to do. However, we run it in a 90-degree angle, and for this small and really insignificant loss of volume, we have more space to equip the Caravan for what we really need. And we haven't actually noticed any degradation in the efficiency of the Truma when it comes to heating up the Caravan.
And was it easy enough to get supplies for this?
Yes, we did. We did manage to find a supplier here in Auckland who supplies this particular size, which is designed specifically for the Truma, and basically got that shipped and dropped off by courier.
And we love the Truma gas. It comes on nice and quickly and efficiently, heats up the Caravan very, very quickly. And of course you have got your control panel right here next to the bed, ready to go. And it's very simple to just set it on, turn up the temperature, and obviously just then turn it on and the system will come on. Got reasonable instructions to follow for that, so most times people shouldn't have any problems. But if you haven't yet put a power system or heating system in your Caravan, we would, there we go, you can hear it, we would recommend this Truma. Great, so that's our most expensive upgrade, add-on and a must-have. This enables us to live. Now what was the maximum time we did? 16 days? 16
days is what we've done. We could have gone much longer than that, but that was just basically the trip we had was 16 days.
So 16 days we're talking about being off-grid, not being plugged into power, being able to use our solar panels to create the power we needed and to live on that as a resource for 16 days. So that's the whole point. That was the whole point for us, was to put this system in so that we can reduce our costs on the road, give us the freedom to go places that maybe we wouldn't normally be able to go if we needed to be plugged into 240 volt power. Great. Now, as you all know, this little man, Dinky, travels with us. One of the things that we have put in the Caravan to help support having a pet on the road, which may be of interest to some of you other pet homers, is a temperature monitoring system and a camera which operates both as a security camera, putting data through to the cloud, and also a doggy monitor. So let's just quickly show you that. Up here in the corner, and some very observant people have seen and noticed, we had something white hanging below the cabinet of our Silverline cupboards when they watched the tour. Right, so this is the camera that we have fitted. It's a MyD-link security camera. And Kevin, you can just maybe talk us through what this is doing for us.
So the camera is simply plugged in to the USB ports that are provided as a standard in the Caravan. This particular camera is designed to upload footage and photographs to the cloud. So from a security point of view, if anybody breaks into the caravan, this has got a fisheye lens, which means it sees the whole caravan. And anybody coming through the door is going to be observed, a snapshot taken or a video, and placed up on the cloud. They can take the camera with them, they can smash it. We've got their picture, we know who they are.
And you get alerts on your phone, don't
Yes,
you?
yeah.
So you've got an app with the MyD-link.
Yes, I get an alert with a photograph or a video footage of whatever's come through the door.
So even in the mornings when we get up and make coffee there, in the movement, you are getting alerts through to your phone just as a...
Yeah.
So how do we use that then? It's security, but how do we use it as far as our wee boy goes and having a dog in the caravan?
So if we've gone out for the evening, gone to a restaurant or something like that, I can simply go and open my D-Link app, tap on the little icon of a screen, and it shows inside the caravan. We can hear what's going on in the caravan, and we can even talk to the dog through the camera.
Yeah.
And calm him down if he's barking at people and so on.
So it's kind of like a baby monitor.
Yes, that's right.
And what's the other? We have also got a temperature. Dinky,
Yeah.
just be quiet. We've got a temperature
Monitor.
system, which is allowing us to...
It's called GoV, and it's a British brand, I believe.
G-O-V-E-E, GoV. We learnt about this on another family that are using this system because they have a pet.
Yep.
And they're on the road.
So what you'll typically get, and it's just busy loading up now, I've just opened it, but what you'll get is a temperature and relative humidity, and it'll actually show you what's going on inside the caravan environment. As you can see there, temperature and humidity, and you can then set thresholds or alarms that if it raises over your set points, it will send a text or an email to you and alert you that for example, the caravan is now too hot or too humid for the dog, and then you can basically come home and sort that out. But we've never had it get so high that it's actually triggered any alarms yet.
And it is handy just having that temperature available to be viewed whenever we want to sort of see where the caravan's sitting at. So that's a GoV, and this for us is a upgrade we've done to the caravan, but it is also part of our must-haves. So here is one of our upgrades add-ons that also would be featured in our must-haves. So you'll see this double up on our videos part 2 and part 3, and it is simply a
Gas detector.
carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. So Kevin, you have installed this. Now I will say that we were surprised that Jayco didn't bring this in as a standard option. Like it's not part of the caravan. It's something that you've got to add on.
In my mind, it should be a obligatory standard to have a gas detector in a caravan that is equipped with gas. From a safety perspective, every other brand, it comes in the caravan, but for some reason Jayco don't put them in, and I think that's where Jayco needs to step up. To do the right thing.
So how did you install it? How simple was that for you to pop in? We've obviously done it under the bed.
Yep, it's just a matter of running wires through to the battery, 12 volt. Then you've got to cut a hole in the side of the bed frame.
Yep.
It comes with a template for the hole size. Cut the hole, install it, connect it, and once a month push the test button to make sure that it's operating correctly, and it's that simple.
Did you need any special tools for cutting the hole, or did you just manage to use a hacksaw
drilled.
blade?
It's a square hole that you need to cut. I just drilled 4 holes and connected the holes with a hacksaw blade and took it out.
So this is definitely something that we would not go without, is that gas detector, and we've placed it down on the side near where the Truma gas heat outlet vent is. So this is our bedroom must-have. We do not have an air conditioning unit in this caravan, and we're quite happy with that. But one thing that we did want and felt was a must-have for summer would be these 2 fans. Now there's a lot of people asking about fans and how you position them, how you wire them in. This is not the Sirocco fans that you can have as an option when you purchase your Jayco Silverline. These ones are called Caravan, and it's a slightly lesser cost fan that's on the market. We picked these up at Burnsco.
Yes, Burnsco.
As well. So Kevin, there is wiring that happens up in this cupboard, and there's light switches and things behind. So this is a 12-volt system?
Yes, it's 12 volt. And to access the power supply for the fans, basically took this cover off, ran the new wires along inside this channel behind here, all the way through, dropped them down, and then connected them through to this 12 volt supply here inside this this cover plate.
Great. And was it fairly straightforward?
Yeah. Once you've figured out where you want to put them and where you're going to run your wires, just make sure you use the correct size wires, and also make sure you join them up correctly as well.
So these fans run on a low, medium and a very high speed. They're really efficient. You can't feel cold air flowing over you, but it definitely gets the circulation. And if you're keeping your vent up above your bed for some movement, then your hot air, it's going to be helping to suck out and push out your hot air. They have a bit of a swivel point, and so in the summer months really great, but even in winter we've found if we're wanting to maybe move around air in the caravan, particularly after we've cooked for airing it, these are what we would consider a must-have. If you don't have an air conditioning unit in your caravan, you're going to need some form of cooling. Do you remember what we paid?
These are half the price of the Sirocco 2s. So
I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was around about what, the $350 for the two of them, something like that.
Up there, yeah.
So yeah, not the cheapest investment, but definitely for comfort, it's on our must-have list. Okay, this would be one of our add-ons must-haves, somewhere to hang our keys and keep them organised. And this little hanger is actually just a command strip gadget that you can buy and hang it with your command strips in behind. Big dilemma for us was where we were going to hang it, because we had thought about putting it on a wall, but of course the keys are going to slide, and it did take us, I think we purchased it and then we thought, oh, we don't know where to put it. So took us a wee while, and then we figured out we could hang it here, let the keys just dangle. So we've got two sets of the Holden ute, we've got two sets of the Caravan, and we've got another chunk of keys which are for a variety of things from bike locks. So definitely for us that's a must-have. May not be for you, but if you are going to stick one up, just think about the fact that your keys are going to be sliding around during travel and you don't want to mark the surface. So this is our monitoring system on our gas bottles, and at the moment our number one tank is about half full and the other one's full. So how does it work, Kevin?
Okay, so on the gas cylinders themselves, you have a little pickup device that's Bluetooth enabled. It fits onto the bottom of the magnet and then transmits to this wall mount system, but also you can actually get it to transmit to your mobile phone. So this is not absolutely necessary. You could use your phone. We just found this more convenient to be able to check when we wanted to.
So you're not having to go out and grab your bottle, shake it up and hope you can figure out what sort of levels there. This actually is going to give you a very clear measurement of remaining gas.
Yep. So there is an app that you can download from Google Play Store, and you can basically have a look at your tanks from there.
And this would just be an add-on. It's not a must-have, but honestly,
it's convenience.
It's convenience. If you want to live in your caravan and be able to easily know what's going on with your supply of fuel like that, then maybe it's a must-have for you. It's high up on the list for us.
You don't want to be arriving at a campsite and then discover you don't have any gas, particularly if you're far away from anywhere where you're going to fill your gas bottles. Now, we also are firm believers we will not use swapper bottles. We actually get them filled at LPG filling stations. We don't swap them. Yeah, we've heard and we've also experienced a lot of issues with the quality of the gas in the swap bottles and the amount of water that's sometimes found in those bottles.
So that's a system in New Zealand where you take an empty gas bottle to the gas station that offers that service, and they basically just swap your bottle out, give you one with gas in it. But we've found them not to be efficient. I'm not sure whether that's available in other countries, Australia, etc. But in New Zealand, that is a system that is often used by people. Right, so for us this has also been a must-have, and again this may not be as important for you, but definitely one of the things we didn't want to have to worry about was shampoo, conditioner, body wash, what have you, bottles floating around needing to be put away every time we went to travel. So we have invested in this dispenser. It was around about the $80 mark New Zealand. Took a wee bit to get in. There's obviously been big demand on them. It is made by, oh, just says dispenser. I'm not sure what the brand is, but you'll be able to find these online anywhere and purchase them. Definitely for us, that would be one of our bathroom must-haves. Okay, must-have, rubbish bin. And this for us is the best place to have a rubbish bin in this particular model. There's not many places where you can actually fit a rubbish bin and obviously have the door shut. This is one that we picked up from Burnsco, and I believe it's about a 10 litre size capacity. Again, not expensive. It was around the $39 mark, and it just, can you just lift it off so people can see how it attaches? It's really easy. We've just got 3 command strip double-sideds there. We didn't screw in. We're really not keen to do added screwing into the Caravan where we don't need to, so that we don't damage any of the surfaces. And again, it just helps for potential resale. Someone may not want their rubbish bin there moving forward.
So the reason why we put it over here as well, it's very convenient when you're doing stuff in the kitchen and you now want to clean up. You just go straight into the bin.
And that's an idea we picked up from our home, wasn't it? Where we had a rubbish bin that slid out and you could just sweep straight off the bench and into the rubbish bin. Rubbish bin, must have, and that's the location we've popped it in our Caravan. Oh, lovely. Thanks, Kevin. Great. Okay, nothing nicer than having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine in bed. Problem was, Silverline didn't have anything for putting a cup somewhere. So, here's a little idea. Pretty simple, and you've probably seen them. Cup holder. We just popped it on with double Velcro sticky command stickers, and so we can take it off at any time if we wish. When it's closed, slide in, passes through there, no problems, no obstacle. Great. And it will hold a fairly good sized coffee and a good solid glass of wine. So the person who sleeps on this side of the bed, the right side, obviously has no place there for popping their drinks or any gadgets. Whereas on the other side of the bed, you'll actually see that you've got a little cubby area for that. So our other little add-on was our mesh containers. So I can put my glasses on here, hang them up at night, have them nice and handy when I need them, put my books in there, and on this side Kevin's got the controls, remote controls. So again, rather than screwing them in, we have used command strips, and these again were purchases that we made at Burnsco and were very minimal in cost. So yeah, I'd say it's a must-have, and it's definitely an add-on.
Another important upgrade that we've made is that in fire protection. So this is the 1 kg dry powder or bicarbonate of soda fire extinguisher that comes standard with the Silverline. Yes, it will put out a fire. The only concern I have with using dry powder is that it is a corrosive. It's a soda, which means it's alkaline, so it's going to corrode anything it touches. And if anybody's used one of these, they'll know from first hand that wherever this powder lands, it's very, very difficult to remove it. It gets into every nook and cranny, anything like speakers, plug points, it will get into computers, etc. And essentially they become trashed. So what we've done is moved across to a larger capacity, 2.5 kg, foam extinguisher. So the advantage of foam is that it can put out most of the fires that the dry powder can. The advantage is that it comes in the cleanup. The foam basically will eventually just disperse. It is not a corrosive, and the cleanup is a lot easier and the damage is a lot less. The other advantage as well is that if you happen to come across a fire when you're traveling, maybe a motorist has got a fire in their car, you can actually assist them. Yeah, so that's one of the upgrades we've done, and we've also got one of these in the car as well.
So we've already discussed about our additional upgrade of a fire extinguisher. We only have a 1.5 litre, we've gone to a 2.5 foam, and we have 2 of those, and of course also the fact that the Caravan does come with a smoke alarm as well. So the other thing that we've invested in is a fire blanket. So we've located it here. Makes sense that it would be right by where you're going to be cooking, where the most likelihood of a fire, an oil fire, may require you then to attend to it. Now we're living full time in our caravan, and for most people their investment in their caravan or motorhome is significant, so you want to be protecting that. Now the beauty with this, very easy to use, just pull down, pops open, and you'd be laying it over the fire. You would never want to be using water or a foam extinguisher or even a powder, because it would blow the fire up and actually ignite it further. So the best is to smother it to kill the oxygen supply to the fire, and that's where a fire blanket comes in. It's one use and then you'd need to replace. So this is an add-on. The Caravan did not come with it, but for us it was a no-brainer. We need to make sure that we have the tools available should there ever be a fire in Stella. Right, so come on then. He just doesn't want to miss it, do you? Being the star of the show. Okay, so what we're going to do is show you one of our must-haves, and I think you're going to enjoy this. This is our vacuum cleaner. So what we've purchased is a 12-volt vacuum cleaner, and of course it's great because you can use it in the car and you can use it in the Caravan. So the brand, just let me, Best. Alright, so you can obviously just vacuum straight from this, or you have got extension pieces that can be used. Whoops, we will get it around the right way. You've got quite a few different accessories. Your standard sort of vacuum cleaner accessory, this one for doing on fabric. You've got a little brush, and you've also got this one, which is excellent. These two would be the ones I use the most, because I like to be able to get into the nooks and crannies, the little areas up where you can't get in so easily with other things. Right, so this just gets plugged into a 12-volt port, and we've got 2 of them in the Silverline. So we've got one here where the TV is, so we unplug that. Oh, we've got 3. Sorry, Kevin's giving me the 3 fingers. So we've got 2 in the Caravan, and we have 1 on the outside, which is where we would have been putting a television if we were having that there. However, we've opted to take that particular arm off, pop it inside here, put the TV, and the 12-volt port outside actually runs our modem for our Wi-Fi. Okay, so as you can see, you've got lots of extension, and if we pop this on, actually better put this one on. You don't really like this noise, do you, Dinky? Mama's gonna vacuum, and off we go. Right, so let me just show you what I do with this. Quite often I just put this one on straight on here, and then if I'm wanting to get up, sometimes you'll get a little bit of dust, you might get some spider web. It's really great. Down and below. those are areas that you're not going to actually find that this part of the vacuum cleaner will get in. Now we purchased this from Burnsco and it was around the $80 mark, so not too expensive. You've got a bagless system, basically just pops open, filter inside, and easy to disperse of what you collect. So for us that is a must-have. Now you're quite happy to use a broom or a little hand shovel, that's fine, but a vacuum cleaner these days not very expensive and definitely makes life a lot easier. Right, now this is definitely one of the more talked about topics on the different caravan forums and Facebook and social media. What to do about condensation? Now reality is I didn't think we had condensation. In fact, it wasn't until I was reading one of these threads around it that I thought, maybe I should check, does our Silverline have condensation? And I was actually horrified to find that when I opened up the cupboards and up in the back corners where the ceiling and the walls join, there was a bit of moisture, and particularly also in our slide out and behind. So reality is you are breathing, you are perspiring, you are cooking, you are showering possibly. There is going to be moisture that goes into the air and has to go somewhere. And of course that moisture, when it hits from a warm environment onto a cold surface, it condenses, and that's the science. You can't avoid that. That is what it is. Now obviously ventilation and being able to keep temperatures between the caravan and the outside fairly similar will help reduce condensation, but in the colder climates it's really hard to do that, to keep warm inside if you're going to have everything open, etc. So we've opted to purchase a dehumidifier, which is a plug-in, runs off 240 volt, rather than using the good old damp rid bags and buckets around the place. We sort of figured out that over time, living full time, we would be replacing those on an ongoing basis. There are also electronic systems you can use where the crystals can be dried, etc. But again, it is quite pricey. So we had a look into what was available on a slightly smaller range, and Sheffield is a brand in New Zealand. We purchased this at Farmers and we paid around the $250 mark, I believe it was. There was a special running. So this can in a day draw off 10 litres of water. Is that the... So the capacity that this particular dehumidifier has is it can draw up to 10 litres of water with a capacity here of 2 for storage. So what it does is it obviously when it's full it beeps, turns off and notifies you, and on top you've got your percentage of humidity, so you can gauge how much moisture is in the air. It also ionizes and has an inside drying function, so it's pretty cool. Now the other really great thing to remember is that a damp environment is much harder to heat than a dry environment. So by having this running, particularly through the night, it does mean that our caravan is keeping warmer and we're not as likely to have to either turn on an electric heater or pop on our gas heater if we're off grid. So let me just show you. We've had this, we emptied it this morning, it's been running today, and already we have a reasonable amount of water in here. What I've decided with obviously having a water system capture rather than your damp rid containers, I can recycle this. So this is going to go into this bucket and I will use this for rinsing off some dishes. When we're off grid and I've got quite a bit of water, then I'll even use it for hand washing, a little bit of laundry. So it just means that you can recycle your water and that's really helpful, particularly if you're off grid. The amount of power that this draws is pretty minimal. Do we remember, Kevin, what the drawing?
It's 250 watts.
250 watts.
So about 8.5 amps.
Yeah, so it's not a huge draw if we were needing to run it for a couple of hours maybe off the battery. But so yeah, for us this is a must-have for us because we're full-time. We need to keep this environment dry. We don't want black mold forming, and also for resale of the caravan, just keeping it mold-free is really important. So must-have. So the next add-on must-have that we're going to talk about is this water system. So Kevin's just organised to get the handles ready. What actually happened was we rocked up to a MZMCA motor park in Nongataha, Rotorua, And because of where we were parking, we were a long way from any water supply. And we suddenly realised that we didn't have hoses that were going to be able to fill us up. We were going to be there for a few days and we had no idea what we were supposed to do. So we were pretty green newbies, weren't we?
That's right.
A lovely lady came over and explained to us that we needed to get one of these water movers. So what we did was we raced back into Hamilton and purchased this from Burnsco. And so you've got 2 entry points for being able to pop your water in, and then an easy way to transport it. So 40 litres, isn't it?
40 litres.
40 litres. Okay, so what have we done to make our lives easy?
Yeah, so I mean, this is just a standard purchase. What we've done is actually bought a pump, and I've fitted a Anderson plug to it. And we've also installed a Anderson power supply over at the side of the Caravan.
So we'll just take you around to where our water input area is on the other side of the Caravan. So yeah, this was a really unexpected. We had been living in the Caravan probably around 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and it had not occurred to us that we might need a mobile water system. Right.
Yep, so the Anderson power supply has been fitted here. It's 50 amp, connected directly to the battery. We can also install a additional solar panel and plug it in here to help charge the battery.
So that would be charging straight to the battery from the solar source?
Yes, the solar source would actually have a controller. They come with a controller on them.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So multi-purpose, and that's one thing, if you can, whatever you are purchasing for your Caravan, if you can have multiple uses, it's really awesome.
And you just place the plug in there and you can hear the pump is running. You just drop that into the tank and pop this into the water receiver. And
off you go. The beauty with this as well is how quick can we transfer 40 litres into the Caravan? It was just...
this is a 19 litre per minute pump. It literally takes 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, great. So particularly if you've got back problems, you don't want to be lugging water, this is one of the greatest ways to do it. So this would be an add-on for us, for our Silverline, and also this was a must-have if we were going to have water on the Caravan. So here is another one of our little mesh holders that we have installed. Now we were finding that our little attachments for our hose were floating around in our slide out tray. So we brainstormed and came up, oh, let's put another one of these little containers so we can put our wee bits and pieces here. It's a lot more hygienic and easy to find them. Right, so what do we have in the slide out?
So something else we've done as well is the standard Jayco jack, which is normally found under the bed, has a mounting bracket under the bed. We removed that in order to install the lithium batteries and the inverter. And what we've done is taken that same bracket and mounted it inside the tray. We've discarded the standard Jayco scissor jack, and we've gone with a hydraulic jack. This is the 4-ton hydraulic jack. We believe this is a better option. It's more compact, takes up way less space, and will also reliably lift 4 tons. I don't think the Jayco scissor jack can do that.
So this is a upgrade and a must-have for us. Yeah, great.
And now we can talk about fishing rod holder. Let's get the stuff out the way first.
Right, and just on the exterior bits and bobs of our Caravan, one of the other things that we've also added on that is a must-have for us are these tyre protectors. These just stop the sun damaging the tyres when we're sitting for any period of time. So we've got a set for each side of the Caravan. Do you remember what we paid for these?
Oh, it wasn't much. I think it was $40 or something for both.
And we had to order them online, I think, didn't we? So again, we did have a little bit of trouble finding them. Obviously you need a double axle system, but very easy. They just sit over the tyres and protect your tyres from wear and tear with the sun. Okay, and then moving right along, we'll come down here and we like to fish. So what have we got here, Kevin?
So we've installed a PVC pipe rod holder. So fishing rods will remain inside here. Now if you have sewer lines and that kind of thing and you don't do fishing, another place you can store them. Keep them out of your slide outs and prevent contamination. But this is where our fishing rods are. They sit inside here, nice and secure. Has a seal on it so no water gets in. But yeah, so fishing rods sit inside there.
Great, and so you've just bolted your bracket. So this is just a plumbing tube, yeah?
Yep, it's a standard 100 millimeter plumbing tube. We've put the PVC brackets, but we've also added cable ties as extra reinforcement.
Just in case those wear and tear over time, we've got the cable ties, yeah. Yep, can you see that? So there's a cable tie in there. That's our safety net in case these fail. But that's our surf rods, and then we've also got our spin casters as well.
The other thing we've done is for all of our tank caps, we've actually added these chains on to stop them from getting mislaid.
Right, so if they fall off, they don't drop off completely.
The grey water tanks, the freshwater tanks,
yep.
All the caps and fittings have a little chain fitted on them, and all you do is just drill a hole, pop a cable tie through there, and again on this side as well.
Great. And those are upgrades really, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yep. Awesome.
Just makes life easier.
So I'm just going to talk about this little cupboard too. So this is the little cupboard that normally has your TV aerial bracket in the back here. So this is something that we purchased as a add-on. Just you never know when there's going to be times that you have an emergency and you need to put a cone out as a prevention of other vehicles getting too close. But because we've taken the bracket out from here, what we've been able to do, there is a 12 volt port there where you would be plugging in your TV. There's 2 power points. We actually have our Wireless Nation modem.
Yep.
We found that was perfect because when we travel, we'd have to be packing it away because it would fall over. So by keeping it in here, when we travel, we have always got connection to our Wireless Nation. When we're in the car, we're still using that rather than mobile data. So that's just something that we did that we found was practical for us, and then this has just become a little storage unit. We've got disposable gloves and our cone. We didn't envisage ourselves sitting outside watching telly, did we?
No.
No. Great.
So one of the other add-ons or upgrades that we've done is we've added on a security system, a YT or YTI, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And obviously we're not going to show you where we've installed it. That needs to remain confidential, so anybody attempting to break in would have to find it to be able to disable it. But what we have done is added the LED, which will tell us when we actually have set it up and it's on. So I'll just enable, and after a few seconds that'll come on. So if we're out at night, we can see that the system is enabled before we step into the caravan and set it off and disturb people in the park. It also wires into all of the indicators on the side of the van, and you'll see when I disable it, they illuminate. So just like your car alarm.
Oh. So what triggers it? If someone gets into the caravan, is
Yep.
it a
So
lock? Is it movement?
No, it's a movement detector.
Movement
So
detector?
if it's enabled, I'll just turn that off. We don't want to wake up the park. If anybody steps into the caravan, if anybody tries to hook up the caravan, or anybody bumps the caravan, it will set off the alarm system.
And what happens with the brakes again?
Yes, if you try and tow it, the brakes basically jam on and they lock up, so you won't be able to go very far.
Great, so that's one of the security measures we've added to the caravan. So the caravan doesn't come with any systems like that. So this is an add-on, and there's also the safety on the ball of the caravan,
Yes.
your lock. Do you want to just show that now
Yep.
as well?
So we've installed a tow hitch lock. Now I know that doesn't take much to remove these. That what it will do though is any opportunistic attempts to steal the caravan will be frustrated, because they'd have to remove that, they'd have to bypass the wide tie, they would have to also get past the security cloud camera that we have installed, and all of these things are just going to make it a little bit more difficult, so they'll go to the caravan next door that doesn't have these systems.
Okay, so what do we have here?
So when you often when you're parking up, you unplug your cables. That's for your camera and your caravan hitch cable. The problem is it can lie in the rain and you end up with water getting into the circuit and eventually corrosion. What we've got here is a little $7 plastic toolbox, and all we've done is chopped out a little spacer there to allow the cable to go in, and also the camera. Drilled a few holes in the bottom, and as you can see, water has come in but it's not touching the plugs, and that way you protect and preserve your cables.
Cool. Nice and easy and nice and lightweight and nice and affordable. So that is an add-on must-have for us. Yucky. Do you want some water up there? Right, so what do we have here?
So something else that we consider to be essential when you're on the road full time is a ladder. There's going to be times where you need to get up onto the roof and do some maintenance, clean off branches, twigs and leaves, etc. So we decided on an atom ladder. This ladder can extend to 3.8 meters, fully extended, and can take a weight up to 150 kilos. Comes with a handy Velcro strap to hold it all together. So once you've released it, you simply extend it as high as you need it to go. And to bring it back down again, make sure you keep your fingers clear.
Great. What's roughly the weight of it, Kevin, as far as added?
I'd say it's about 15 kilos.
About 15 kilos?
Yeah.
And what sort of price did we pay?
Oh, I can't actually remember, really.
Okay.
I think it was just under 200 bucks.
So it's a necessary add-on, because most caravans don't come with, unless they're American, they don't come with a ladder on the back. So this was something that we knew, being full-time on the road, that we would need the ability to access our roof. And it's come in handy. We've used it many times already.
That's right. And we've actually used it to help other people on their roofs.
Yep. Cool. So this is an add-on to Stella, our Jayco Silverline, and this for us is a must-have while we are full-time living. Right, so one of our other little add-ons and a must-have for us was a wee clothesline. We did try to position a cord across through our awning end arms, and that wasn't very successful. In fact, it interfered with the ability for our awning to retract and extend, so we have had to take that down. Makes sense for us to have something like this. Now these are aluminium and they compact right down into a very narrow little bag that sits on our bed when we are travelling, and this allows us to keep our costs down. If we're doing our washing in our little washing machine in the caravan, hanging it out here, then it is reducing costs. And if you've lived on the road for any period of time, you'll know that the laundromat visits do add up. So yeah, a portable compact excuse Dinky in the background, clothesline is definitely an add-on and a must-have for us as full-timers.
The Savvy Level is a very useful device. We highly recommend it. From the comfort of your vehicle, you can very quickly pick up whether your caravan is on a lean, nose to tail, or side to side. We find this device very, very helpful and highly recommend it, particularly given that you can use it from within your vehicle when pulling into a site. Of course, any caravan or motorhome arsenal of tools would not be complete without chocks. This is going to help you with leveling, but also to fix the caravan so that you don't get any wobbles. So we went with the Anderson chocks for leveling and the X chocks, which go on both wheels. The X chocks lock the vehicle's wheels in position, so when you're walking in the vehicle, when you're parked up, you don't get that jiggling that often is found when you don't use the X chocks. We also highly recommend both these products.
Okay, so that concludes part 2, our upgrades and add-ons to our Jayco Silverline Stella. We hope you really enjoyed the content, and as you saw, there were a lot of upgrades but a lot of add-ons. Now, because Kevin and I are full-time, obviously there were a lot of things that we decided we needed in order to assist us in our journey. Now, if you're just a part-timer, maybe just holidaying in the summer months, then some of these things may not be relevant, but we do hope what we've done is we've got you thinking. We've also maybe pushed you along into an area of researching ahead of getting some of these things and checking out whether or not they would be things to help you in your journey. So if you did enjoy the content, then please give us a thumbs up, and if you've got any queries or comments around the content that we've shared, then by all means in the comments below let us know and we'll get back to you. Also, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our Great Escape RV channel and also click the notification button. That will ensure that any of our videos as they come out, you'll get notifications straight up. You may not have actually gone back and had a look at some of our previous videos. We're only up to, I think it's episode 8 or 9, so there's not many to view. But if you're wanting to catch up with our journey, what happened, how did we end up selling up, going on the road, and what it's been like for us in the first 5 or 6 months, and we hope you enjoy those. So that's it for now on part 2. Part 3 will be coming shortly, and in part 3 we're going to discuss some of our must-haves, some of the things we've purchased that have been a waste of time, and it will be more sort of the little gadgets around the place, particularly the inside things that we've found really helpful, and the suggestions on things that you might like to purchase in order to get your caravan prepared, or if you're already on the road, help your life be better. So thanks again guys, we really enjoy having you here on the journey with us, and we'll say bye for now.